Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is I, Keith, your man of letters, yada yada yada. Anywho, today we're talking about how to make sigils. You ever heard of sigils? Some magic work. You ever seen Beyonce do crazy cool symbols on her forehead in front of the stage, absorbing power from thousands and millions and tens of millions of people so that she can propel her career into infinity and look the same age she did like 68 years ago? We will learn how, or at least we will learn how according to some of our cool occult and esoteric books. Come on in, take your shoes off, stay a while. My name is Keith again. Subscribe if you're new. We got a lot of cool things going on here. Anywho, let's get into it. First things first, what is a sigil? A sigil is essentially a magical symbol created to represent a thing that you want. And the idea is to bypass the conscious mind and plug it into the subconscious mind because that is the goal mostly of esotericism and magic and stuff. It's not necessarily parting the Red Sea as much as it is fusing the sea that is your mind, fusing the subconscious with the conscious, merging the yin and the yang, learning the culmination of the masculine and feminine and creating proper integration of mental faculties in order to attain what we want. So there's a lot of psychology in it. There's a lot of real world science behind it. It's catching up. Science is catching up. It's a little behind, but I promise you, science is catching up. Anywho, how does it work, traveler? Chaos. Well, I guess we can sort of define chaos magic loosely. Chaos magic is a modern system of magic that operates on the principle of what do you call it? Pragmatism. It's very practical. It's like if it likes something, it takes it. If it doesn't like it, it lets it go. Belief systems are things that we hold on to as long as the duration of our craft takes. Right? If you're done with something in the course of an hour, you drop that belief system in the course of an hour. It's kind of good. It's kind of unrooted. It's very chaotic. It's very feminine. It's very wishy-washy. It's very go with the flow, which to me is why I don't really buy into it too much because it's half the picture. Anywho, we're talking about sigils and how to make sigils and why. If you've tried to make them before and they didn't work, we're going to go into that. How do you charge up your sigil? How do you create a sigil? How do you make sure your sigil works? How to check to see if your sigil's working? I don't know if you can do that. It's not like a Wi-Fi router where you can test the signal. But essentially, it's like a Wi-Fi router. It's a passive emanation of a frequency in which you wish to attain. How do you create a sigil? Well, it's honestly pretty simple, but there is a step-by-step process in which to do it. Step 1, write down your desire. Right? You start by writing out your desire or your intention, simple and very simply, and of course a positive statement. For example, like I will find a job that I love that's going to pay $100K in the first 3 years of attaining it, or even bigger than that. Keep it in the present tense. I've found a job. My bad. Keep it in the present tense and keep it affirming. So step 2. Step 2 is you got to remove the vowels and repeated letters. My name is Keith. I would take away the E and the I, and that would be KTA. Part of the reason why we do this is because we want to remove as much conscious material from our sigil as possible because we don't want our conscious mind dealing with the process. The conscious mind is very fleeting. The conscious mind is good for making decisions on what you want and say how you want to get it. Flawless. That's the superpower of the conscious mind. It's like this, it's that, it's this. It's very orderly. It's very structured. It's the thing that gives definition to the chaos in order that we can actually have the manifested thing that we want, right? But we can't let the conscious mind operate throughout the duration of our spell, if you want to call it that, because sometimes the conscious mind is like, oh my God, my life sucks and everyone hates me. Oh my God, I'm not going to make any money. Oh my God, I'm a loser. Oh my God, I'm studying magic. Blasphemy. I'm going to hell. Like all these, the conscious mind is all over the place. It's all over the place. And the power of the subconscious mind is that whatever it is, it emanates 24/7. Right? The conscious mind can be a million different things. For example, this is why we practice positive affirmations. We study positive affirmations. We say them every morning. We read certain books. We digest certain media. And we discard other forms of media because we want to make sure that what we're programming ourselves with is the right frequency that we want. Right? They say you are a culmination of the 5 people you hang out with. Same goddamn thing. Why? Because if the 5 people you hang out with are all a bunch of knuckleheads, chances are you are going to be influenced into doing some knucklehead shit. If the 5 people you hang out with are 5 people that are better than you are, that make more money than you, that are more successful, that are driven, that slay in their given fields, then you are more likely to be involved in that frequency of slay. They will bring you up. In other words, you can't have bath water. You can't have hot bath water that stays hot when you pour cold water in it, right? It's this basic correspondence. This is basic esotericism right here. Sorry, I went on a tangent. I have no idea what I was talking about. Anywho, I think we're talking about creating the sigil. We remove the letters, right? We just want the consonants, and then we create the sigil. You put your letters together. Maybe I'll put a sigil right here on the video or something so that you guys can see what a sigil looks like. Point being, this is where a lot of people leave out. We have to charge the sigil. We have to impregnate the sigil with the frequency that we want. Right? This is where the masculine comes in. This is where the order comes in. This is why I don't like chaos magic, because chaos is everything. It's all chaos, and you can't be order. And we don't like structure, and we don't like doctrines because they inhibit the chaotic flow. They inhibit the pure potential of reality. And it's like, well, how are you? If you have pure potential, great. Chaos, you have the subconscious, the pure potential from which all things come from. Great, sounds wonderful, but you need to give the other side definition to have the car. If you want the pure potential to become a lover, you're going to have to structure that chaos into a lover, as opposed to someone that sucks as a lover. You know what I mean? You're going to have to materialize the pure chaos into abundance, as opposed to lack. You know what I mean? So anywho, sorry, I get fired up about this stuff. This is why I don't. We have the chaos. We have the subconscious mindset, which is our sigil. Now we use the conscious mind. We use order and structure to impregnate the subconscious representative, which is our sigil, into what we want. You have your sigil. You have your writing on it that says, I want more money, more finance, or I want to be more in control of my emotions, or I want more creativity. And so you write that out. You put it on a sigil. Now, in chaos magic, what you need to do now is you need to really learn how to meditate and slip into a trance-like state that chaos magic calls gnosis. I don't like that it's called gnosis. I'd rather call it a trance-like state. You guys, you study binaural beats so that you can slip into a really, really, really low hertz frequency range to get you to that place that's in between waking and sleeping. That's basically what chaos magic encourages one to do. Through meditation, there's an inhibitory way of reaching gnosis, which is like meditation, and then there's a excitatory way of reaching gnosis, which is like dancing or chanting or schmexual schmintercourse, for schmex magic, if you know what I mean. I'm trying to keep it PG rated. Anywho, basically, when we hit these supreme states of consciousness that allow us to tap into the other side, or allow us to tap into the subconscious mind while still retaining a piece of a lot of our regular consciousness, that in-between world is what we want. And in that in-between world, we then sacrifice that energy and that thought power into what we want to manifest. Does that make sense? When we charge our sigil, we've made our sigil. We have our sigil. We now want to charge it. We charge it by entering a blissful, supreme mind state through deep meditation or through like chanting and drumming, drum circles. We enter that trance state. We sacrifice that energy and that focus and that willpower and that intention. We get that masculine energy and we hyper focus it and slam it into our sigil. Our sigil is a physical representation of the extension of our subconscious mind. Boom. Now we have our sigil, we have it charged up. This is why they say things like, oh, Beyonce's making her certain symbols, Jay-Z, they got their certain symbols, they're all demonic because they're doing these things. They're creating sigils. Sigils don't have to look like a piece of paper on a wall. They can be representative of, it can be a chant. It can be an auditory sigil. It can be a visual. It tends to be a visual sigil, but we can program that sigil via chants, repetition, repetitive chants. Anywho, last but certainly not least is we got to forget the sigil. I think I might have touched on this before, or it could have been the other dozen takes I've tried to take of this video. But you got to forget it. And part of the reason why you have to forget it, not necessarily that we have to forget it altogether. The idea is we want to take our conscious mind off of the sigil, because again, our conscious mind is fleeting, right? The superpower of it being hyper focused, the downside is it gets really bored of things. That's why it's always like That's why you can't sit and think and stare at a flame for half an hour, because your conscious mind goes nuts. It doesn't want to sit and stare at a wall for half an hour. Are you kidding me? That's an eternity. The conscious mind's always like, oh, I'm going to be successful. Oh, I suck. Nobody likes me. I can't look at anyone. I hurt my eye real bad and can't look at. I have to wear these glasses everywhere because I feel ridiculous. Like everyone's gonna. Oh, I'm so ugly. Like, oh no, oh, we're going back and forth, and so we create this one step forward, one step back sort of ordeal when we keep it in our conscious mind. What we want, in pretty much all of esoteric practices, is we want to use our conscious mind to program the subconscious mind. And then once that has been done, the subconscious mind receives that energy, and that energy becomes it. The subconscious mind becomes the things we program it with. And when the subconscious mind has been programmed deeply, then it will emanate back out into the world that frequency. On one hand, it takes a lot of energy to program the subconscious mind. And on the other hand, that's a good thing, because if it was easy to program the subconscious mind, we would be all willy-nilly, bibbidi-bopping from tree branch to tree branch, still flinging doo-doo at each other because we had no rooting in, what we wanted in our ideals, etc., etc. We program the mind with the subconscious, or we program the subconscious mind with the conscious mind. In this case, we're using the aid of a sigil. We're super turbocharging that sigil with energy from wherever. If you're a musician, you can use your audience to program it. If you're a YouTuber, you can use your YouTube audience to program it. If you're a hardcore meditator, you can sit in trance under a waterfall and program it. If you're a Schmex magic practitioner, you can engage in schmexual schminner schmorsh with yourself or with schmothers and do the thing and charge it that way. There's a ton, the sky's the limit, baby. If you have a good imagination, you're going to have 1,000 different ways to do this. Now, next. Sigils, now at this point, can be used for anything, really. You can manifest material things like money or a boat or regrowing tropical rainforests in the southwestern deserts. Improving personal traits, which honestly is probably the best thing to do. If you improve a personal trait, then you're sort of going to have the things that you need, because let's be real, if you're not financially well off, if you don't have good relationships, if you don't have a lover, more often than not, it's going to be your own fault. I don't believe in ultimatums, but it generally speaking, if your life isn't how you want it to be, it tends to be your own fault. At least when you've accumulated enough knowledge. When you're ignorant, and you're a child, you really have nothing. But as you get older and we pursue knowledge, I hope you pursue knowledge, and we gain knowledge, and we understand the law of correspondence and vibration, and as above, so below, and we understand that our actions have consequences, and we can't avoid the law of cause and effect. We go, if I have more perfect causes, then I'll have more perfect effects. Meaning, if I stick to something, point being, I would assume it would be better to manifest and create sigils to improve personal traits over just saying I want to win the lottery. Or maybe both. Fuck it, just do both. Wish for a boat and wish for the character traits you need in order to attain a boat. There you go. Is that fair? We could meet in the middle, baby. We're all about balance here on this channel. Anywho, want to attract money? Create a sigil. Want to get rid of bad habits? Create a sigil. The possibilities are endless. Endless. All right, so let's look at some real-world examples. Let's look at some real-world examples. If you want to manifest confidence, you could create a sigil that looks something like you write out confidence. Of course, you take out the sigils and you charge it during a moment of peak focus. So you want to manifest confidence, you can put yourself in a situation that demands confidence of you, right? You really force yourself, or you watch a movie where you see extreme confidence going. Maybe you chant during the movie. Maybe you play music during the movie. I don't know. Make this shit up. Use your imagination. That's your imagination is there to help you cast spells out into the world. You basically throw yourself into a highly emotionally excited state, hopefully that somehow ties in with the energy of confidence, and then you sacrifice that feeling. If you have huge elation and huge happiness, don't keep the happiness inside. You sacrifice that happiness to the sigil. And if you want to go dark side on it, because sometimes, let's be real, it's easier to go dark side. It's easier to destroy than to create, such as the world. You experience huge embarrassment or huge failure or something. You can also sacrifice that emotion to the sigil. Energy's energy, baby. Whether it's tainted, whether it's sustainable, whether it's unsustainable, all energy comes from the same thing, and it can all be used to either create or to destroy. It's up to the individual practitioner to navigate those waters so that we are wise in our pursuit for manifestation, so that we don't go dark side. But law is law, and it applies either way. That, you know, there you go. There's a confidence sigil. You guys want some advanced tips? Yo, dost thou dare tempt the waters of the adept to learn some advanced tips? You can use multiple sigils. You can combine multiple desires into one single sigil, or even create a series of sigils that work in tandem to bring about bigger results. Same laws apply. Some people recommend that you can actually burn the sigil to release it so that you don't think about it anymore, and then it's sort of, the work has been done. I don't know. I'm a musician. I'm in front of a lot of really emotionally charged people, a lot, because we kill it. I'm thinking, what if I had a sigil like on Beyonce shit? My phone died. Whoopsies, my phone died. Sorry, I forgot. I think we were talking about Beyonce and the archons that represent the legal archon representatives of Beyonce. Shut the video down. So we're back. Sorry about that. Beyonce, you're losing your power though, girl. You're losing your power though. We saw you put on that $10 million show for Homegirl, and she still lost. So y'all are upper echelon. Are you losing your power? There's something weird going on in this current matrix. Don't tell me you don't see it. Don't tell me you don't feel it. I know I see. Hey, you ain't got to lie to kick it. All right? Anyway, I think we're talking about doing multiple sigils for advanced sigil work. We can do sigils and rituals. So if you want to get even deeper, you can incorporate sigils. You can incorporate sigils into rituals. For example, you could draw a sigil on a candle and burn it, or charge your sigil in the moonlight to tie into your lunar cycles. Like, you know what I mean? That's sort of what I was getting at with the music thing. Like, you could make your sigil and then burn it traditionally, or you could use it, you know, as a musician to plug it behind you so that the crowd charges up your sigil. You can use the moon. You can put your sigil on a candle like it suggested so it burns down, and you can do a whole chant. The idea is to program the subconscious mind, right? So the more we involve ourselves in the ritual, the more power we're putting into the subconscious mind. Theoretically speaking, of course, we are men of letters here. We learn for the sake of knowledge and to just see what the hell everyone's up to. Try to keep it personal if you can. They should be deeply personal because, you know, it's your subconscious mind you're working with, right? So if we can keep it as personal as possible, you know, and we can the frequential, is that a real word? Oh, I can't talk. The frequential plug that's specific to you shouldn't be tainted by outside forces. Because you want it to be you. You want it to represent what you want and your desires, etc., etc. You don't want too much coming in from the outside world for I'm assuming obvious and not so obvious reasons. Anywho, that's the overview. So, quick overview of the sigils and how they fit into the world of chaos magic and I guess all esoteric practices. Whether you're a beginner or looking to expand your magical Batman kit. Sigils are powerful but practical tools that can help you manifest your desires in real, tangible ways. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. If you're new, hit the bell icon so you don't miss out on any of the videos. We have like 1 million followers, but we only get a few hundred views per video. Maybe it's a bell thing. Maybe it's Beyonce's Archon agency that's upset with me. I don't know, but I'll leave you guys with this. The road may seem long, fraught with shadow and uncertainty. But remember this. Within you lies a light far brighter than the darkest night. It is in the quiet moments of doubt that strength is forged, and in the trials you face that your true power will awaken. Do not fear the unknown, for it is in the journey itself that the greatest truths are revealed. Trust in your path, for even the smallest step can change the course of the world. Subscribe if you guys made it this far. You have to at this point. If you'd like to join if you have the means and the motivation and you want to join the Patreon channel, by all means, please do that. We have some really cool things here. I love you guys. Thank you. I'll see you soon. All right.